on the Vicious, the rematch of Group B from our group stage here. And here we are. Domination on Bernard T'Challa. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. And let's see what these bands look like.
Well, bands are very similar to what we've been seeing in the entire tournament. You gotta flip a coin. Is it gonna be Magneto? Is it gonna be Emma Frost? Well, today it looks like the Vicious want to ban out Emma Frost and Bethany want to ban out Magneto. It really is just who wants to pick which Vanguard to start off with. And the Vicious will be protecting Emma Frost. The ban on Loki, we've seen this so many times, and it is just a very popular ban as well. Not quite as popular as the two Vanguards, Magneto and Emma, but I mean, yeah, Loki, such a popular ban.
Such a popular ban indeed, and they will concede that one through. But you know what else is breaking through? Bethany have managed to lock down the Punisher, and we'll see what the next bans are looking like. Ooh, hovering Magneto there, the Vicious. Not keen to deal with that one, so may take it one step away here. Punisher potentially looking to be locked out as well. There we go, both are locked out there. So Bethany take away the Punisher, leave it for themselves, and the Vicious zone out Magneto. So no Meteor M on either side of the scale here, but Bethany are eager for the Mantis. So looking a bit similar to how Kanga approached things in our last series, putting a little priority around that Mantis strategist.
Yeah, Mantis is a very, I would say, a strategist that's very exciting to watch and to have in the game. As well with the Punisher Protect, it could be exciting to see how it gets used. Notably, Bethany is not banning any of the flying heroes yet. No Human Torch ban and no Ultron ban. Of course, there is one more ban left, so we'll have to see what they end up choosing. The Vicious is also going to be protecting Mantis, and they also haven't banned any flying heroes. So this may be them trying to counter if a flying hero if there is a possibility of having them here on Bernard T'Challa.
Ooh, I think if Liger's watching right now, Liger would be really happy to see Potato hovering the Moon Knight of all things. We could see that hand of Khonshu coming through, but speaking of flyers, it's going to be Human Torch lockdown immediately for the Vicious there. Potato just teasing us, not going to be locking down the and a Khonshu this time, no Moon Knight. But what I do like to see on the bottom side of things there, Lumi is bringing out Psylocke. We did see Psylocke come out in our last series, and you know how big the impact from that one is, and definitely eager to see how things go down as we get in to the thick of it.
Yep, getting into the thick of it here on Bernard T'Challa. It's a beautiful map and a beautiful place to cause some mayhem. And it's going to be exciting to see these two teams, Bethany and the Vicious, verse off each other once again and see who will be finally claiming victory. Whoever loses here, this is a lower bracket. Whoever loses here will be eliminated in 4th place in Marvel Rivals Ignite Oceania.
That's right, 4th place is going to be locked and loaded from this one, and we'll see who will be locked into position there as the battle is about to begin. The gates are about to open here on Bernard T'Challa into domination. And here comes the fantastic team up coming out on the Vicious side of things there. Eager to see how that one plays out. But both rosters now looking to face off. We have space being cleared here, and the Vicious are on top of the mission area.
They are on top of the mission area. They have control of it so far, but I mean, it's not unlocking until 5 more seconds. But who is unlocked? It is Rib, taking out Bubble. Potato also poses the Vicious very much starting off with a very strong fight.
Yeah, starting off strong, and they will be able to cleave through control there. So Bethany gonna have to hit the reset on this one. See if they can manage to find a way back in. I like how the Vicious are trying to knock down some of the landscape here as well, because that locks down a lot of the points that they can attack into on this one. You know, it really does chop down some of those lines of sight for Bethany. But Bethany are all focused up high to the sky right now, and they're looking to see if they can zone things out. With a path of fire in front of them, though, it could be a bit of an issue, but We do have some walls coming up from Soupy here, so at least they can block down some of those lines of sight.
Yep, Soupy trying to do their best with the grid. A lot of walls being placed, but so much damage onto Soupy. In the meantime, though, Soupy does damage to Rib, who did have the ultimate online and is now back in spawn with it. Soupy also comes down Lumi. It's a one-man show at the moment, and that show is in the name of Soup. Though now Potato stepping up, taking down Adam and Revsy. The flip has been achieved. Bethany are now control.
That's right. Now it's their time to shine here, and they're going to be able to build up a good amount of a percentage on this one. Do have a few ults around the corner as well. You know, Strangling Prison close by with the Freedom Charge there. They got a lot of strategist ultimates here, but the Vicious, they have almost all their ultimates online and ready to activate. So if they want to steal the point back, they can definitely do it. Here we go. Supernova going to activate in this close choke point here, but Eternal Bond coming out. It could be the saving grace for Bethany here. Speaking of, they're dishing out a lot of damage and consequence as well here. Holding back for a second, not swelling past, and I love the composure from the Vicious. They didn't dedicate all the ultimates, but now Psionic Seduction coming out. It's their time to shine. Fate of Both Worlds going to keep Bethany online, though. So the strategists definitely finding their impact here. Lumi being kept alive as well, but it's the final judgment. Potato, it's time to cleave through here. See if they can shut down the Eternal Bond. They can. Good fight to Asher, looking for more. It's time for Leave to burn them alive with the Supernova. Dance of the Butterfly coming out from Revsy as well, though. Does take down Potato there on the KO. Looking to see if they can chop through some more, but the fight just keeps lighting up here. No one is getting on the better end of it. Everybody is trading blows right now. And all the meanwhile, Bethany is still building up percentage.
Yeah, Bethany's building up percentage 72%, but it might change here as the Vicious taking 2. But Bethany are regrouping and able to... No, there will be tactically retreating a little bit here. The Vicious now taking control of the point, and they're approaching 60%. Bethany achieving 79% though in those many fights. Does mean that if they get this point back, it could only be maybe 1 or 2 more fights for Bethany to take this point. But the Vicious, no ultimates for them in sight, with only the Rib at 74% being the closest to getting any ultimate. Bethany, on the other hand, does have Eternal Bond online right now. 99%, there we go. Ticked over to being online. 81%, the Vicious are counting and about to get closer and closer to overtime. And ooh, what a massive start of the fight here, man.
Holy moly, those KOs are coming through in waves right now. Dance of the Butterfly is online as well. They will not need to use it. Jag trying to hold back on the cap here, but they are not going to be able to do much more. And just like that, the Vicious gracefully push the first point over the line there and find their way on top of the hill in Warrior Falls on Bernard T'Challa. So we are going to be jumping in to the next point now. It's time to go to the Imperial Institute of Science. Will Bethany be able to find a comeback here? Will we be able to see the Vicious take complete control of map number 1 and stroll away? It all comes down to this.
It really does come down to this fight. And if we're looking at the stats here, we can see Revsy getting 14 knockouts. They also do have the Dance of the Butterfly available for themselves too. This could go the way of the Vicious in the start of the fight, but not if Bubble has anything to say about it. They have Eternal Bond online. The Sustain is available for the Bethany, for the hands of the strategists. So whether or not they can time it perfectly to be able to keep the team alive so that Revsy does not take them out, it's all in the hands of Bubble.
That's right, all in the hands of Bubble. Hopefully they don't pop, otherwise we could be in a bit of trouble there. And luckily for them, you know, they got a bit of reinforcement with the Eternal Bond online, so everything may be okay, at least for now. But mission area unlocking in just under 10 seconds now. Bethany holding on the side of the point here. We'll see if they can activate gracefully into this one, because the Vicious have offensive ultimates online from their duelists right now. There it is. Supernova going to be locked down, targeting the Punisher there. Good night, Potato, looking to see if they can crash into anyone else as well. And they're trying to take down the opposing Torch here. proving to be an issue. Invisible boundary coming up though from the Vicious. They are looking to keep themselves alive as long as they possibly can. Fate of both worlds from Oink there. Great for Bethany here. Look at this comeback. Lead is steaming past, doubling down onto it. Psionic Seduction from Adam though could be exactly what they need to bounce back. A bubble gets popped, trying to shut down Jag. They will tag him away, and Rip gonna be tracking down Potato again. Poor Potato. They get sent down to the point, they come back, and they get sent to straight away again.
Well, the Vicious are able to cap that point from a massive winning fight that they just had against Bethany. Both strategist ultimates have been popped, all 4 of them from both teams. So now coming into this fight, it might be time for Liam on that Human Torch and Revsy on that Psylocke to shine. And now here it goes. Out starts the ensemble and the dance at the butterfly. Revsy not able to find anyone as they are walled off by the group, by Sophie. And now Jag with the ensemble has been able to make quite a lot of room for themselves for Bethany, but no, they are still stuck in the spawn as Revsy takes that bubble. Hey, Oink, Potato, Soupy, they're all falling to the hands of the Vicious.
Ooh, yeah, all falling down. Liam going to be shut out, imprisoned in spawn there, and we'll see if they are going to be able to boost themselves back up onto the point. You know, one thing I think of as a potential solution right now, if they wanted to try and get some presence back, is honestly potentially a strange portal. You know, that could be something to elevate them back onto the point there, but they might not be considering it as yet as the supernova comes up. They are trying to burn things down. Potato on the final judgment as well, trying to see if they can push some damage through, but none of the Vicious are in sight. This final judgment could just run down its duration. Ooh, they're getting some damage, but there you go. The Vicious doing a great job to navigate the landscape and dodge that damage entirely, but Potato with the shotgun does find the impact in the end there, doubling down onto it, looking to see if they're good for 3 as well. The walls are proving to be their friend and foe in this one, and it's Psionic Seduction coming out from Adam right now. Fate of both worlds from Oink there. Liam trying to burn things with Supernova. Invisible boundary coming up. Strangling prison. Everything is coming up. There it is. It looks like the Vicious maybe were listening there and got that portal up, trying to keep this percentage alive. But Bethany will get it over the line. Good fine strike from Soupy in the end there. 99%. And they finally get on the map.
Yeah, early in that fight when Potato was popping that final judgment, it was interesting you pointing out that they were just trying to avoid it, and they were able to keep both strategists ultimates online for a while, but maybe it was a bit too long, as by the time Asher finally popped the Eternal Bond, they had lost 3 members of the Vicious already. But now Atlas, who went through that portal that Lumi created, popped the ultimate there last second too, so now no strategy ultimate for this fight, but Lumi doesn't care, taking down Potato with a big dive. Jag now popping his Sambo and Bubble, also using the Eternal Bond to try and keep the team alive to build up that percentage on the point, 33%. Remember, the Vicious is on 99%. Now with Adam taking out Jag, this could be Vicious turning the point into their favor and potentially taking the entire map.
Can you believe it? We'll see if they are going to be able to find it. Oh, Lumi does find Bubble there. Looking out for Soupy. Say goodbye. They are pushing them back quick as lightning here. Bethany struggling to stay on the mission area. Potatoes down. It's all falling apart, but they managed to find someone in the back line. They're keeping this OT alive. Ooh. But it's all too little too late. Poor Jag must go down. Good KO coming through. And that's map 1 for the Vicious. The Imperial Institute of Science is going to be claimed by them. So, 1 down and potentially many more to go here, Rice. Rib on the MVP though.
Yeah, Rib on that Human Torch. We did see a lot of the picks and bans for tags leaning towards both of these 2 teams wanting to play that flying heroes, flying meta, you know, being able to ban out all of the banning out Mantis, banning out Punisher as well, and that did mean that Liam and Rib were able to play that Human Torch. But look at Rib's damage, look at Rib's knockouts. They definitely performed extremely well on that Human Torch.
Oh yeah, couldn't agree with you more there. You know, you saw the impact of the supernovas coming out, like Rib, Liam doing work for their teams there. They really managed to keep them up, keep them elevated in the second map, and we're already locking down some of our bans. Protects, it's going to be Emma Frost banned out by the Vicious there. Magneto going to be banned out by Bethany with another follow-up with the Loki going goodbye. But the Protect is going to be Magneto for Bethany and Emma Frost for the Vicious. So they're trading Vanguards here.
Yeah, they are trading with the Protect coming out from the Vicious on Emma Frost. Some teams do have preferences between Magneto and Emma Frost, but also it could be more of a target ban. Maybe some Vanguards are known more for Emma Frost or Magneto. I do remember seeing Magneto, I think, in the hands of Adam earlier in the group stage, and it was a little bit scary. So that could be a very respectful ban. Of course, the Vanguards on both teams look scary indeed. Now seeing a Punisher ban from the Vicious onto Bethany, as well as a Lunar Snow ban from Bethany onto the Vicious.
Oh yeah, definitely changing things up here, you know. I like to see all the different landscapes that both teams choose to take. Lunar Snow being banned out does mean there's no Fate of both worlds, but seeing the Ultron left open is really scary, especially in the hands of the Vicious. Now getting that on the Protect, not having the Punisher available disposes of one of the cards you could use to try and shut down Ultron there, you know, swoop them out of the sky. But speaking of the skies, there's not going to be any flame in the skies as the Human Torch is now banned, but Lunar Snow is saved by Bethany here. So they're going to be able to access that Fate of both worlds, keep themselves alive a while longer with that strategist available.
Yeah, the strategist available for Bethany, Lunar Snow, but looks like the Vicious do not want them to play Ultron, but they want Ultron for themselves. Ultron has been a very interesting pick so far in this tournament in Ignite, where it can be one of the sort of pseudo anchors for a flying composition. And looks like the Vicious do not want to verse that sort of composition from Bethany, but we do still see Liam on the Human Torch.
Oh yeah, we are still going to be seeing that Human Torch come through from Bethany there. So Supernova has not been extinguished in its entirety. At least one team going to be bringing that one out, and very excited to see how they can play this one out. As a matter of fact, as we are going to be jumping in to the fray. Central Park, it's time to get into the thick of it. Time to bring out your very best, and very curious to see if the Vicious are going to hold on to the Rocket Raccoon there. Nope, it's going to be Jeff time. It's Jeff time. We love that ultimate, but I lied. It's going to be Cloak and Dagger. They always like to, you know, tease us in the initial phase here.
They definitely do. They like to discuss things, maybe use some of these benefits to help them get out faster to where they need to go. But this is a beautiful, beautiful place for some Skrills to live. But of course, it's going to be them. It's going to be Bethany trying to attack onto the Vicious, who are trying to stop Ratatoska from being stolen.
That they are, but Bethany already have used the portal to their advantage. Going to be getting the vantage point behind them here, and we'll see if they are going to be able to get into high gear on this one. As they hold back a second longer here, Jag and Co. looking to flow their way down, but have opponents they have to be wary of here. Liam getting a bit of damage through there. KO could be coming out onto Psylocke, but not quite yet. Rib escapes just at the perfect moment. Atlas taking a bit of punishment as well. Bethany doing a good job to stay around the sides of the map here. Stay in those closer quarters. Don't give Ultron a way to take them down.
Yeah, Revzy on Ultron already having 60% of their ultimate. I believe, yeah, that is the closest one. Though Bubble, though, is extremely close as well. Revzy being able to take down Soupy with a massive shot from the skies. Rib also now taking down Jag. Bethany falling apart slowly, and the Vicious able to keep control of the point. While Bethany was so close to getting that first tick, they will not be able to, as the Vicious hold the door.
Hold the door and hold it tightly shut. We'll see if they are going to be able to keep it shut, though. We could have the side of Bethany, trying to ram their way through. Potato switching out to Hella, the goddess of hell, coming through there. That can be a really good change up here, but we'll see if it's going to work out for them. Rib trickling through a lot of damage onto this one. I might just find the KO. There we go. Bubblecar going to be taken down on the Cloak and Dagger. That's a strategist down. Following suit, it's Lumi out of town now on the cap. So they're trading blows again here. Rib being a bit sneaky with the KO on the Leem as well. No one able to elevate themselves over the line here, and the Vicious are doing a great job at holding them on this choke point.
They are doing a good job, and out comes down to the butterfly from Rib, but it is countered by Oink with Fate of both boats. But both strategies also being used by Bethany as Cloak and Dagger's Eternal Bond is now on the point, but there is still Atlas's Eternal Bond, which is being used right now, and Rib taking advantage of takes down Bubble, takes down Potato, Oink as well. There are no strategists also Bethany, no sustain, while the Vicious still have Ashes in hand.
Yeah, poor Rib wasn't able to get the impact they wanted out of the Dance of the Butterfly, but it didn't matter because them and their team managed to redeem themselves in the aftermath there. But speaking of the aftermath, Bethany now, 3 ults online on both sides. Who will be able to find the better end of it? That's going to be the big decider, the big question. They're hunting them down, and here comes the Freedom Charge. Lumi diving in on those strategists there, trying to see if they can shut them down hastily here. Oink, almost out of it. There we go. Do find the KO, doubling down from both Vanguards here on the Vicious. So doing a grand job to keep them as far away from the mission area as possible.
Yeah, the Vicious are very aggressive here on the defense. If you didn't know they were in defense, you'd be thinking that they are on the attack with how far towards the enemy they are playing, how far away from the point they are playing. Rib still in the back line, in the middle of everything, taking out Potato and going for more. Now Asher also using the ultimate, but what is this? It may be a little bit of a back cap, but only Revsy is going to have a look at what's going on.
Yeah, not going to be able to find much out of it. It's going to be 10 seconds to go right now. Bethany trying to go for their final push, final hurdle here. They have plenty ultimates online. Speaking of ultimates though, the Vicious bring out force, bring out fire, but it doesn't matter. Bethany were just about to cook up a storm with the Galactic Legend there, but no one was able to tap the point in time. So the side switch is going to come out. Bethany are going to have to play the game of their lives right now as the Vicious come out on top on the defense.
Yeah, Bethany's best hope here is a draw on this map. If they're able to full hold the Vicious like they did to them, they may be able to still get that draw in their hands. But if not, the Vicious are looking very well primed and prepped to take this map for themselves, bringing them up to match point. And potentially versing Kanga tomorrow in the lower bracket finals. But I mean, Bethany, they're going to have to do a big fight here. They are on the back foot. And ooh, the stats do not tell a good story for themselves.
No, the stats are not looking great at the moment. You know, there's 0 casualties on a lot of the Vicious members right now, with only Revsy and Lumi being taken down there thus far. So Bethany definitely going to have to put in the hard yards here to try and see if they can hold them off for dear life here. It's going to be a tough one. You know, it's a tough endeavor, especially after the way that the first half went there. But we'll see if they are going to be able to find a new strategy, engaging in to the next sector now as we dive straight into it. All hands on deck here. It's time to play. It's time to take it away.
Yeah, Bethany playing with also a Psylocke in the hands of Potato. It's going to be exciting to see if Psylocke is able to get any of those angles that Rib was able to get and is trying to get right now as well on attack. CP on the grid, has to try and play, of course, up the front and keep the team alive, but Rib takes out Potato in a 1v1 Psylocke duel. But remember, there is, of course, Emma Frost in the game as well, which means Rib does get that clone, does get that extra team-up ability, and using it, they're able to do a little bit more damage, a little bit more annoying things in the backline. Now, Rib takes down Jag, Soupy Foes as well, and the tick, it's just been achieved! You blink and you miss it! Less than a minute! And the Vicious take this map.
Oh yeah! That they will. So, a very dominating approach there coming out on map number 2 of Central Park there. River taking away the MVP. Honestly, well deserved. You know, they played really well on that Psylocke. I was impressed with how they managed to navigate playing the flanking type role on the duelist there. Definitely looking solid and really kept Bethany on their toes. It's unfortunate Bethany weren't able to really navigate things as well as they would have liked there. You know, we saw some potential come through from them, but alas, it was dismantled in almost its entirety from the Vicious there. So this does mean the Vicious going to be able to take away almost a clean run on that one, and they are now at series point.
They are indeed at series point.
Things let through again. It's all up for questioning here.
Definitely all up for questioning. It is a very exciting time. We may be able to see something unusual. You know, Bethany pulling up some last ditch effort, you know, some hidden cards that they've got stored away. Or we might see, you know, the Vicious cook up something exciting too. So yeah, well, we're in it. And we're gonna have a look at all these picks, bans, protects.
Let's see what they can do here. Ooh. So stock standard so far. Magneto and Emma taking out Loki. Saying goodbye as well there with Emma protected for the Vicious. Punisher could be protected for Bethany there. High impact duelist if they lock it down. I do like how they're hovering over some of the niche picks there, like the Black Widow and the Spider-Man, by the way. Like, they always tease us like that, you know? Yeah, and Mr. Fantastic. Rib maybe is hearing me, you know, spiritually there. Maybe he wants to bring it out, but Loki is not going to be brought out.
Yeah, Loki banned by both teams. We never really see Loki. We haven't seen Loki at all in these two teams, and it's just Loki is such a strong pick here in Oceania, so no surprise on that. Of course, Magneto, Emma Frost, very similar bans. Both Magneto and Emma Frost has been banned by the Vicious, so Bethany are not able to play either of those two Vanguards, and so that has forced Bethany's hand into protecting Doctor Strange.
Let's see if that is going to make a big impact for them. We did see Portal Warfare earlier. We could see it all over again right now as well. Lunar Snow. Ooh, that could be a big one to take away there. Fate of Both Worlds, definitely a high impact strategist ultimate, and neither side is going to use it now. So, one more protect to come through from the Vicious. Who are they going to lock in? Soul Resurgence on Mantis. Going to be prioritized here, as well as the Sedate there. So we'll see if they can find some use from that strategist here. And what aren't they going to be able to use? That is up to Bethany. Psylocke definitely made a big impact into the last map there on Central Park. So curious to see if they do lock that one down. There we go. Yep. It's locked in when we're going to be into the map.
Psylocke ban coming out from Bethany makes a lot of sense. We saw Lumi on Bethany on the Psylocke being absolutely frustrating and annoying. So I can see that ban being a very strong ban for them. But yeah, interesting to look at what they're hovering right now. I don't know if this is true or if this is going to be staying in place, but both Jeffs potentially. Nope, of course, that was just a tease, a bit of a tease for us.
They always do this. They always tease us like that, you know. It's sad times, but it's happy times into this map here and now. I'd love to see if Soupy stays on the Jeff for this one. I think this map definitely has some great potential for the It's Jeff ultimate there. So curious to see if they are going to be able to use it here. I like this triple strategist setup around that as well. You know, they've got more supportive endeavors there with their strategists lined up, but alas, Soupy ain't playing Jeff. Ain't gonna happen. So we will see Bubblecar and Oink take up the mantle on strategist. I wanted to see the Jeff vault, you know, wanted to see him take him off the map. That would be huge, but maybe later. We're saving it.
Maybe later. But I'm excited to see. It's like, maybe we do get to see the rocket, but no, of course, it's going to be switching over to Coke and Dagger. But what a kidnap coming up from Lumi immediately. And now Soupy's looking out straight away. Bethany on defense here, forced to back away with one less Vanguard. And oh, the damage coming up from the Vicious. It's quite intense. And so, well, Bethany, potentially switching to Jeff here.
Ooh. Okay. They must be listening in or something. This is crazy. You know, they're hearing me. Soupy, shout out to you for bringing that one out. We'll see if it does find the impact that needs. Rib gonna be holding on right now. KO comes through on a potato there, doubling down on it, looking to see if they can hunt down Soupy here as well. Not gonna be able to do it. Good retreat, tactical retreat even, coming out from Bethany. But all the meanwhile, Soupy's still being hunted. They will be able to slip away in the end. The Vicious, though, they get it over the line and they take control.
5 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. The Vicious have so much time. But also the ultimates are being built up. Revsy has 95%. And they're about to have that Rage of Ultron online. Bethany, though, don't have anything just yet. They're all around about 90% maximum. And now here's the Rage of Ultron. But ooh, it might be shut down by Lee. He's doing lots of damage onto that poor Ultron in the sky. But I don't know if we should say poor, because look at the distance that the Vicious has traveled. With less than 5 minutes remaining, that is still so much time. Now Asher popping their ultimate to keep the team alive. So does Oink. Out comes Invisible Boundary. But River's going Supernova inside that boundary, trying to do as much damage, and is successful as Liam gets taken out.
Taken out, when in doubt, take it out, and there's going to be more of that. Asher chimes in, a goodbye potato, and we'll see who else is going to be joining the roster there, as a lot of damage is trickling through, and Jag is gone. A good KO from Atlas there on the Cloak and Dagger, and the mission vehicle continues to progress forward, halfway towards the second stage here, and Bethany need to find a way to engage onto this one. But, you know, the big potential here is we could see the Jeff Nader come out for the first time here. Here we go. Omega Hurricane coming out there. Soupy ready. Jeff Nader time! Woo-hoo! We do see the KO come through of that one. Asher, the first to fall, but they're trading back already onto Jag.
Jeff Nader only getting one is so unfortunate for Team Bethany. While the Vicious have already capped. Now 5 minutes of the clock to get this final last stretch. The Vicious look extremely strong. And Bethany just look a little bit lost. Jack and Potato, they both have their ultimates available for trying to do some last fights here. But there's going to be so many last fights with so much time on the board. Revsy does have their Rage of Ultron online once again, but so does Lumi as well. We could see the Star-Lord take to the skies with Revsy and do so much damage. Now Revsy with the Rage of Ultron, and now Potato trying to take him down with a final punishment. Revsy, Lumi, they are falling. Bethany are standing their ground.
Standing strong, standing tall, refusing to fall here, and they need to do exactly that, especially at this stage. I love how they delayed the KO onto Adam there as well. Want to stagger them out, nullify some of that Vanguard impact here, and eager to see if they're going to hold on a while longer in this one, as they've still got a lot more gas in the tank, still have more potential to tap into here. But we'll see if they can do it, as the Vicious are starting to build themselves up. Ultron trickling out the damage. Here's the Galactic Legend. It's time, Rice!
It is time for Lumi, but Lumi gets dangerously low, has to go back into safety. And now it's Rip's turn to go Supernova, going and aiming for many members of Bethany, but somehow Bubble stays alive. Oink stays alive just barely. But no, they finally get taken down by Lumi and Rib. The Jewelers from the Vicious are going crazy onto Bethany.
That they are going absolutely wild and styling on it. You love to see it, and they have imprisoned them into spawn now. Omega Hurricane coming out, a last-ditch effort from Liam here, trying to find the impact. Oh, we go! Is down. They managed to get onto the convoy just in time. 2.36 meters there. The Vicious almost taking it away. Luckily, Bethany had other members focused up on the back line there. Otherwise, the Vicious could have swept it away.
Well, the Vicious still want to sweep things away, as out comes the Eternal Bond from Atlas. Revsy now with the Rage of Ultron, doing an aggressive fight, taking down two 3, a triple KO for Rebsy. But no, that's not just all. The entire team of Bethany have been wiped out. The Vicious finish this attack with well over 2 minutes remaining.
Oh my gosh, can you believe it? They are gonna be straight on track there. 2 minutes of 40 time left. So if it does push into the overtime sector, they have a plentiful amount of flexibility here, and we'll see what they are going to be able to bring now, as Bethany going to have to try their best to launch the attack of a lifetime here. And the Vicious are already changing up the landscape. You know, Lumi hovering over the Black Widow. Don't think we're going to see it, but maybe we could. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a Black Widow here to try and shut down some of these attackers. But, you know, anything's possible. And let's take a look at the stats here.
Well, the stats are definitely, of course, looking in the favor of the Vicious. Rib 19 and 0. Of course, Atlas as well on the strategist. Also 0 casualties. These players are looking so strong, and Bethany are not able to touch them at all.
Yeah, having such a tough time trying to get close to their opponents there. You know, trying to see if they can stop them in their tracks. But we'll see if they are going to be able to find the impact they're searching for here. I like how Lumi is on the cap right now. Freedom Charge are definitely going to allow them a lot more time on defense towards the convoy there. And curious to see how it plays out as we jump towards the point once again. Jeff NATO potential is online here, so Bethany could use that to elevate themselves, but the Vicious might be anticipating it, you know, might be looking to hold back a second. Here we go, Adam. Taking a lot of damage there. Good to keep the shielding up for their team on the Vanguard there. Lumi need to pounce around as well, and it's Asher dealing damage from afar. The strategist got a bit of bite in them too, and they are trying to force them all the way back to spawn. See you later. Rip is just locking down these targets right now. This is tough.
Yeah, Riv definitely from the skies doing so much damage rain from above. We have Potato on the Punisher to try and punish any of these fly heroes. You know, Revsy and Rib are both controlling the skies, and they are looking good. But Rib being able to use all the protection from the buildings, it makes it extremely hard to target. And now Potato is getting also harassed by Lumi, but takes Lumi down. That is one knockout in favor of Bethany. So Bethany is slowly moving the convoy, moving the goats of Asgard around that corner. But with 2 minutes 46 remaining, they will likely be able to push it quite much further here, but the Vicious still have plenty of time and plenty of ultimates about to be to their disposal.
That's right. Rage of Ultron are going to be on the line here. TP could be coming through as well. This can be good. Here we go. Jumping into it with the Rage of Ultron there. Adam going to be able to get a lot of damage through, shutting down Lehman. Go. Psionic Seduction could push them back into the fray as well there. There we go. Potato on for the KO there. And they are not activating any more ultimates. Really smart from the Vicious there. You know, they want to hold on to as many ultimates as they can and not use them wastefully. This is going to be a great way to manage their ult economy with an Eye of Agamotto close by as well.
That is true. There's 5 ultimates in the hands of the Vicious, including, of course, the Eye of Agamotto. But Potato is going to be using the first one, the Final Judgment, as well as the Eternal Bond from Bubble. Going to be trying to sustaining themselves and pushing the cart further, pushing those goats as fast as they can. But the Vicious do not want to bite. They are just waiting around the corner. Lumi getting a little bit harassed in the back line, but Jag goes in with the Agamotto getting 3. Now leave Jag. Potato taking advantage, taking out 3 members of the Vicious. Bethany are looking to cap this first point, and they're looking good doing it. 1 minute, 26 seconds. They may be able to get lots of time making themselves for the second point, but no. Lumi is here with the Eye of Agamotto.
Good timing on that one too. Does delay them a little bit longer here. You know, the Vicious, sure, they will lose out a couple of casualties there, but at least they are staggering out the convoy here. Speaking of, Soul Resurgence coming out. Look, they're just trying to waste time right now. It doesn't matter if they get KO'd out as long as they can hold on to the point. The Cloak and Dagger bringing out the Eternal Bond as well. It's great, but Revsy going down, not going to be so great here. Potato fighting a lot. There's the Jeff NATO as well in the background there. They're getting some impact backed out of this one, but the Vicious are still online. They're still on the point right now. Like, Lumi bringing out the Venom. You can tell they are just trying to bounce around this point and stall out time as long as possible here. But eventually, that time must come to an end, and they will get it past the first phase.
They do. Bethany getting that first point. That first checkpoint is very important. Now, with less than 3 minutes remaining, they have to try and get through this next one and then the next one. But remember, the Vicious have 2 minutes 40 for their entire time bank and making it to the end. And now Bethany are only just reaching 240 themselves. It may be a bit struggle for them to have that same amount of time bank. Now we have Lean on Storm, able to take a pick onto Rib, which is very important. But Revsy, now with the Rage of Ultron, rains anger down from the skies. But Bubble, using the Eternal Bond, gives them a little bit of space, and Bethany keeps moving the payload, moving the convoy forward.
That's it, Convoy on the move, and they're gonna be groovy with it. Psionic Seduction coming out from Adam right now, getting a KO is Bubblecar. Nice stuff from the Cloak and Dagger. We'll see if they can find more. Potato locking it down for 3. Their team pulls through as well. That is gonna spell more progression towards the second checkpoint here. The Vicious locked out of this one, and they may have to run it back into the third and final checkpoint. Look at them, they're trying to storm out, but it looks like they have conceded the fact that they will have to try and hold them back into the next one instead. But Bethany, they are pumping themselves up right now. This is amazing to see the comeback potential from them here.
Comeback potential, especially with this final Johnson coming out. But out comes Ash's strategist ultimate as well to keep everyone sustained and healthy. Potato getting negated, but not negated enough as Revsy falls to the other Punisher. But Potato has to back off a little bit as there's a lot of damage coming out from the Vicious, especially with Assemble being used by Lumi. The Vicious now have to try and be careful of this Sharknado combination from Lima and Soupy. And it gets 1, it gets 2. Double KO for them. But in the meantime, the Vicious have taken multiple of Bethany, including Jeff, including Soupy, Potato, and Oink. Jag falls now too, but Lean is still in the skies trying to do as much as they can, but they fall as well. 2 minutes 20 on the clock is now lower than what the Vicious ended with.
Still going to be a potential for the OT here, though. We'll see if Bethany can get that mission vehicle on the move here. As they do have some big pieces to deal with. You know, they've got the Eternal Bond online, sure, but aggressive ultimates from the duelists here, Revsy and Rib, could be staggering indeed as they are holding back. Here we go, Final Judgment. It's time. Let's cook.
Ooh. They are cooking indeed. 1, 2, a double KO for Revsy. But of course, Liam also has fallen from Bethany. And now Oink falls. With now 2 remaining members, Bethany do have to respect. They are all the way in their spawn. They are terrified of the Vicious.
They're shaking in their boots there. They are going to be held back at the spawn point. Supernova going to be online as well. You know, we'll see. Here we go. It's going to be locked in. A bubble car trying to keep their team alive with the Eternal Bond there. And they do find Adam. Good double down on it. We'll see if they are going to be able to pressure them even more, as they will be able to push the mission vehicle. Finally, at last, it will slip around the bend here. But little do they realize, or maybe they do, Lumi is going to be right behind them, and that could be a big thorn in their side, especially at this stage of the game here.
Yeah, indeed. Lumi on the flank on the Captain America will be extremely annoying, but Adam also has that seduction online and is using it on the members of Bethany. But Oink does have that sustained ultimate available for themselves, keeping everyone alive. But Judgment now, time to be judging the team of the Vicious. And they're going to do a lot of damage, but of course Asher with the invisible boundary stops everything in their track. But there's only 35 seconds left remaining for Bethany to push this final section. There's only a few meters left. They're going to try their best, but Lumi now assembling the team of the Vicious towards himself, towards the team of Bethany. I am going to be used as well. I don't believe it finds anyone as Jagna gets stunned out. And now the team of the Vicious are cleaning up. 15 seconds left in the clock, and Bethany retouch in time.
Oh, they're going to be trying to test it here, but it may not be the way. 5 seconds to go. They're bringing out the Venom, trying to dive onto the point. It just ain't happening. Just like that, everybody. It is going to be the Vicious taking it away in a 3-0 clean sweep there. say goodbye to Bethany as they will be closed out into 4th place. And now the Vicious lock in their chance to face off against a Kanga into the lower bracket tomorrow.
You said it correctly. You said exactly how I wanted to say it, Matsy. The fact is now Bethany has now been locked into 4th place. They'll be walking away with $6,000 for themselves. 4th place for them. Congratulations though on making it this far, Bethany. But it is of course going to be the Vicious heading over through the lower brackets and going to be versing off Kanga for a rematch tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Oh yeah, it's...
And yeah, welcome back to, we saw you in the Invitationals branded as Platinum Star. Now you are here as the Vicious. And well, how are you feeling about the rematch with Kenko once again?
Oh, we're feeling good about it this time. We didn't play the best yesterday, and I think it showed, but I think this time we play like we normally play in scrims. We're gonna do good.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And I guess diving a little deeper into that, what do you think a potential scoreline could be for that series?
Obviously 3-0 for us, right?
Yep.
Right? Yeah,
Obviously.
I love the confidence. I love it.
You need to be a bit more confident, Adam, you know? You're definitely going to be 3-0ing them, for sure. You know, they looked pretty strong against you yesterday, and, you know, when you played in the Invitationals, it was a 4-2 scoreline, and it feels like it's fairly close between you two, but Kenga does have that upper match in some of those maps, and you mentioned, you know, if you play like you played in scrims, so without spoiling anything, what have you been doing in scrims that you think will give you an advantage coming into tomorrow?
Not being nervous, I think. I think we don't have much officials, like we don't have much practice in like tournaments, but in scrims we play like very calm, you know. We don't overgo anything, we just do our thing.
No, I definitely can understand that. You know, I think you guys are going to build on that. The more you play these tournaments, the better you will be. So great to hear that. And I guess, yeah, jumping into tomorrow, are we going to see some kind of wild card strategies like what we've seen from some of our other teams? You know, I saw like Black Panther coming out from Kanga. Do you guys have anything, you know, you're going to bring out? You don't have to say what it is. I'm just curious if there's something in the books there.
I think you'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I was hoping you would say something as well, but no, I completely understand wanting to keep your strategies under lock and key. Very wise, because I'm sure Kenga are listening and watching right now. They'll be taking notes, of course, from today's match, but I'm sure you were taking notes as well from their match earlier today. Super excited to see what you both bring out tomorrow. Good luck, and yeah, good luck with your lower bracket run.
Thank you, guys.